and prevent any condition known as the bends from occurring when they would move out into the vacuum of space a short time from now. They also have conducted what is called in-suit light exercise periods, where they've moved their extremities back and forth, their arms and their legs, just to increase their metabolism and increase the ability to rid themselves of any impurities in their bloodstream.
005 for Anil's Medox swap out, looking for a go to start that at 11:05.
And that's a good number, and we are ready. You have a go.
We see 11:05, and we're go.
The crew is running slightly ahead of schedule in their timeline of pre-spacewalk activities today. The countdown clock here in Mission Control is looking for a go for the depressurization of the crew lock section of the Quest airlock about 27 minutes from now. We'll keep tabs on that as the final preparations are underway. Just a few minutes from now, Menon, that you see on the right side of your screen, he will be EV number 1, extravehicular crew member number 1, wearing the suit bearing the red stripes. Adenot will be wearing the unmarked suit as EV2, or extravehicular crew member number 2. This is the second spacewalk for Anil Menon. He joined Jessica Meir outside the station back on August 6th. For a spacewalk that was 6 hours and 27 minutes in duration. This will be the first spacewalk for Sophie Adenot. The International Space Station is currently flying 260 miles above the Earth in a trajectory from northwest to southeast across northern Africa in an orbit inclined 51.6 degrees to either side of the equator. Just to give you a little additional historic perspective on the space-to-ground antennas that we're dealing with today, the very first space-to-ground antenna that was installed on the International Space Station's Z1 truss was carried into orbit on the STS-92 mission in October of 2000 and installed by astronauts Leroy Chiao and Bill MacArthur. The spare SGANT, or space-to-ground antenna, that is being installed today to replace the degraded antenna was delivered on the STS-127 mission and installed by astronauts Dave Wolf and Tom Marshburn on the 40th anniversary of Apollo 11's landing on the moon on July 20th, 2009. The antenna that is being replaced, that began to deteriorate in its swiveling or gimbling capability last November, the faulty antenna that's being replaced today was initially installed on the STS-132 mission in May of 2010 by astronauts Garrett Reisman and Steve Bowen.
Houston Airlock, we've got Medox serial number 0006 for EV2.
And we copy 0006 for Sophie, and that's a good number.
This is Mission Control Houston. Once again, we are in the final stages of pre-spacewalk preparations by Anil Menon and Sophie Adenot. They will be exiting the Quest airlock to begin the 282nd spacewalk in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. We're running some minutes ahead of schedule. A little bit difficult to predict until we get to the point where they begin the depressurization of the Quest airlock.
Houston airlock, I'm going to hold up one of the O-rings of MEDOX canister 0006. We see some black smudges on it. We're just curious if you want us to wipe that, if that's nominal, or you want us to wipe that with a lint-free wipe, or how to handle it.
And stand by. We are in a KU transition, so about 20 more seconds and we'll be able to see it.
And again, the focus of attention for today's activities will be the replacement of a faulty space-to-ground antenna on the Z1 truss of the International Space Station.
It looks like a slight little discoloration. It does not look like any fraud.
Okay, we copy. Stand by.
You see in the equipment lock section of the Quest airlock, Jessica Meir at the bottom of your screen.
With your description of it mostly being discoloration, then we are happy with pressing as is.
Copy.
Jessica Meir and Jack Hathaway are assisting Anil Menon and Sophie Adenot in their pre-spacewalk preparations. A short time from now, they will mount devices called SAFERs. Those are simplified aid for EVA rescue backpacks on each of the crew members. Those are jet-powered backpacks that would be used in the highly unlikely event that the crew members would become untethered outside of the Quest airlock during their spacewalk activities. They would have a means to propel themselves back to structure and back to the safety of the International Space Station. Once the SAFER units are installed, the two crew members will be moved inside the outer section of the Quest airlock. That is the crew lock section. The hatch that you see right there at the hatchway, that hatch will be closed and sealed, and the two spacewalkers, Menon and Adenot, will then conduct final communications checks and final suit systems checks before they switch their suits onto internal battery power to mark the official start of today's spacewalk. We have about a 5.5 minute animation that will be showing momentarily that will detail all of the activities associated with today's excursion to replace a faulty space-to-ground antenna.
Our day will start with EV1 in red stripes and EV2 in white. Crew will egress the International Space Station from the airlock and will both be carrying a tool bag. EV1 will translate to an external pallet forward of the airlock to retrieve a foot restraint that they will take as they translate starboard to set up and ingress the Space Station Robotic Manipulator System, or robotic arm, from the S1 truss. Once EV1 is ingressed, the robotic arm will back off from structure and then maneuver the crew up and over the main truss to the space-to-ground antenna, or SGAN, worksite. Meanwhile, EV2 will translate aft and zenith around the airlock to the Z1 truss. Here, EV2 will set up the worksite to remove and temporarily stow the failed SGAN antenna. Next, they will translate up the antenna boom to prepare the SGAN for removal. Shortly after, EV1 will be arriving on the robotic arm. The two crew will work together to install locks over the antenna's gimbals to restrain it from motion during handling. Next, EV1 will demate two electrical connectors. The crew will then work together to release 4 bolts holding the antenna to the boom. EV1 will remove the escant from the boom back away from the worksite. EV2 will translate down the boom to the temp stow location. EV1 will hand the antenna to EV2, who will install it in a temporary stowage location. From here, the crew will maneuver starboard for the retrieval of the spare antenna. EV1 will fly to the worksite on the robotic arm and begin the release of 2 bolts. EV2 will translate along the truss to this worksite and assist EV1 with release. EV1 will retrieve the spare antenna from its housing, and the robotic arm will fly back to the install location on the Z1 truss. EV2 will translate back along the truss the same way they came, passing by the airlock on the way. Both at the worksite, the crew will work together to get the antenna seated and installed on the boom. Next, the two crew will release and remove the 2 locks from the spare antenna's gimbals and install a thermal cover. EV2 will retrieve the failed antenna from its temporary stowage location and pass it off to EV1. EV1 will carry the failed antenna outboard to its long-term stowage location. EV2 will work to clean up the Z1 worksite before heading back outboard. EV2 will drop off the tool bag at the airlock before continuing translation to the failed antenna install. Crew will work together to get the failed antenna stowed and 2 bolts installed. Once the failed antenna is stowed, EV1 will maneuver to the same location they ingress the robotic arm from. EV2 will begin translation back to the airlock and prepare for crew ingress. EV1 will egress the robotic arm and remove the foot restraint, which they will be stowing on an equipment platform nearby. EV1 will then translate back to the airlock, where crew will ingress the International Space Station with their tool bags to finish out their planned 6-hour and 30-minute EVA.
And that was a look at today's activities for Anil Menon and Sophie Adenot, the NASA astronaut and the European Space Agency astronaut who will be venturing outside of the Quest airlock a short time from now to begin the 282nd spacewalk in support of space station assembly maintenance and upgrades. A shift handover has been completed here in the flight control room in Mission Control. At the bottom of your screen, you have Flight Director Chris Dobbins, who is the flight director for today's spacewalk. To his left is Chloe Mering, the flight director who will preside over the next spacewalk on August 25th that will see crew members go outside the Quest airlock for the third time this month to conduct a variety of different tasks in reconfiguring systems and electronics on the outside of the station. But today's focus of attention is the replacement of this faulty space-to-ground antenna that was first delivered to the station on the STS-127 mission in 2009. It has been parked on ESP-3, the external stowage platform number 3, on the outside of the space station, the only spare space-to-ground antenna that remains available for use on the station. It will replace a faulty antenna that began to degrade in its gimbling or swiveling capability back last November. One of the features that you'll be seeing throughout the course of the spacewalk today will be Anil Menon, who will be planting his feet in a portable foot restraint at the end of the Canadarm2 robotic arm, sort of like a telephone repairman at the end of a cherry picker. He will be maneuvered to various work sites and will be carrying the faulty antenna once it is removed from its boom on the Z1 truss over to the port 3 truss of the station to be installed in the empty parking place that the spare antenna currently resides. That spare antenna then will be brought by Menon once again at the end of the robot arm back to the work site at the Z1 truss in the middle of the backbone of the station to be installed and then subsequently activated by ground controllers here in Mission Control. The robotic arm will be primarily operated today by NASA astronaut Jack Hathaway, who you see on the right side of your screen, being assisted by Jessica Meir as they mount a simplified aid for EVA rescue backpack onto Menon first, then to Adenot, as they will be then equipped with a return capability on this small nitrogen thruster backpack in the unlikely event they would become untethered from the structure of the International Space Station, or as they're moving around from work site to work site. Earlier today, the crew was breathing pure oxygen to cleanse the nitrogen out of their bloodstreams, preventing any event of decompression sickness from occurring once they step out into the vacuum of space. They also conducted a light exercise period where they moved their lower extremities back and forth to increase their metabolism, thus hastening their ability to remove that nitrogen from their bloodstreams. All of that went very well, and the crew is just moments away now from being moved inside the Quest airlock, the outermost section of the two-section Quest airlock, to hook themselves up and prepare for placing their suits on battery power that will mark the official start of today's spacewalk. Here in Mission Control, you'll be hearing the voice for a while of Steven Zenter. He is the spacecraft communicator who will be, he is seated to the right of Flight Director Chris Dobbins. Zenter will be talking to the crew up until the time that the final preparations will be undertaken prior to the suits being placed on battery power. The spacewalk choreographer, if you will, or the IV, the astronaut who will be on console talking directly to the crew during the EVA itself, is veteran astronaut Anne McClain. She is not in the field of view at the moment. She'll be on console momentarily. She is in the room, and she'll be the voice you'll be hearing as she runs through the step-by-step procedures with Menon and Adenot while they're conducting their work outside in the void of space. Once the crew lock section is depressurized, It will do so in a multi-step fashion, going first down to about 5 pounds per square inch of pressure in the crew lock from 14.7 pounds per square inch. There will be a pause to enable ground controllers to check out systems and for the crew members to conduct final checks of their suits, making sure that they're leak-free. The suits underwent a leak check earlier this morning and both suits were found to be in good shape, no leaks, with all of the systems operating as they should. Once that momentary pause in the depressurization of the crew lock is conducted, the depressurization then will resume down to vacuum, enabling the two crew members to open the outer thermal hatch and then the hatch on the crew lock section prior to placing their suits on battery power. Here in Mission Control, the clock on the wall calling for a go for depressurization just under 10 minutes from now. We'll continue to track that time. Once the depressurization begins, which is implied to start at about 6:36 a.m. Central Time, it will be about 30 minutes or so before we actually begin the spacewalk that is marked officially by the suits being placed on battery power. That puts us about 25 or so minutes ahead of the timeline, but we'll continue to track the official start time for you as we get a bit closer. And just to update you, we now believe that the actual depressurization of the Quest airlock will come a bit later than 6:36 a.m. Central Time. As you can see, Anil Menon wearing the suit bearing the red stripes on his legs as EV1 or extravehicular crew member number 1. He has moved into the crew lock section of the Quest airlock. Sophie Adenot still in the equipment lock. She'll be outfitted with her safer backpack shortly and will join Menon in the crew lock just a few minutes from now. Jessica Meir on the left, and just out of the field of view in the lower right-hand portion of your screen, Jack Hathaway installing the safer backpack onto Sophie Adenot, who soon will become the first French woman to walk in space. Adenot, representing the European Space Agency today, joining Anil Menon for what is planned to be about a 6.5-hour spacewalk. Could go longer, as the two crew members for Expedition 75 join together in the replacement of a faulty space-to-ground antenna. There are two such antennas that reside side by side on the Z1 truss in the middle of the truss section of the International Space Station. ESCANT number 2, or space-to-ground antenna number 2, is the antenna that developed a gimbling or auto-tracking problem last November. These dishes, if you will, track the NASA Tracking and Data Relay Satellite System, lock on, and provide high data rate telemetry, video, and voice capability to ground controllers throughout the world. Since the problem with ESCANT number 2 cropped up last November, the ground control team switched over to the use of ESCANT number 1, and that has been functioning just fine. But in order to restore full redundancy to the system, we are replacing ESCANT number 2 with a spare that resides on external stowage platform number 3, one of 3 such spare parts platforms on the outside of the space station. ESP3 is located on the P3, or Port 3 truss of the International Outpost. Once the two crew members exit the Quest airlock, they will check their tools and tethers and make their way over to that work site to begin setting up for the removal of, first at the Z1 truss, they'll set up for the removal of the faulty antenna that will be parked along a handrail, and then we'll move to the P3 truss to get the spare antenna and maneuver it back to the Z1 truss for its installation on the boom and the hookup of cables and connections. You'll be hearing a lot today about bolts. The pistol grip tool, the space age power tool that is used to unbolt and bolt a variety of bolts and connectors on equipment outside of the International Space Station. You'll be hearing a lot about gimbal lock bolts, bolts to release the failed space-to-ground antenna from its boom, bolts to release the spare from ESP number 3, and to work the process in reverse with the installation of the new antenna and the parking of the faulty antenna on ESP3, where ultimately it may be returned to Earth for upgrades and repairs. And just a reminder, Anil Menon, who's already inside the crew lock section of the Quest airlock, he will be driven around at the end of the station's Canadarm2 robotic arm by Jack Hathaway that you see on the left side of your screen. Hathaway will be the prime robotics operator once Menon has gone outside and planted his feet in a portable foot restraint that will be attached at the end of the Canadarm2. It will be Menon who will haul the failed antenna over to a temporary parking place and eventually over to ESP3, and he will take the spare antenna and move it to its installation point on the Z1 truss. Here in Mission Control, Flight Director Chris Dobbins is double-checking with several flight controllers as the two spacewalkers are now inside the crew lock section. You'll see the hatch closed behind them by Jessica Meir here just a few moments from now, and that will be the precursor to the start of the depressurization of the crew lock from its current pressure of 14.7 pounds per square inch of pressure down to vacuum in a multi-step fashion. The flight control team are reporting back to Chris Dobbins that everything is in order. No issues being worked whatsoever, either with suits or systems. And so we're just standing by for the final few procedures to make sure that the two spacewalkers are comfortable inside the crew lock section and in the right orientation for when the hatch is closed behind them. This is Mission Control Houston. If you're just joining us, we are on the cusp of the beginning of the 282nd spacewalk in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. You can see in this view in the Quest airlock, in the foreground is Jessica Meir. Jack Hathaway is right at the hatchway, the dividing line between the equipment lock section and the crew lock section. Inside the crew lock are the two spacewalkers for today, Anil Menon, EV1 or extravehicular crew member number 1, wearing the suit bearing the red stripes, about to begin the second spacewalk of his career and the second in the past 12 days. Sophie Adenot of the European Space Agency is about to begin her first spacewalk. This the 5th spacewalk conducted out of the space station in 2026 and the second for Expedition 75 crew members. And for those of you who are just joining us, we mentioned this earlier, but it bears repeating. The spare space-to-ground antenna that is going to be installed to replace the faulty one today was delivered to the space station some 17 years ago in July of 2009 on the STS-127 mission and installed on a spare parts platform called ESP number 3, external stowage platform number 3, by Dave Wolf and Tom Marshburn. The antenna that is being replaced, the one that's faulty, was delivered on the STS-132 mission in May of 2010 and installed during an EVA by Garrett Reisman and Steve Bowen. So a pair of legacy hardware in play today as we work to restore full redundancy to the high data rate communications capability for the International Space Station. The space-to-ground antenna, SGANT number 2, that is being replaced today is part of the KU band system that enables high-rate data communications. That's payload data, video, crew procedures, and other communications functions for the International Space Station. This antenna developed a failed gimbal assembly, meaning it can no longer point in the direction needed to track the tracking and data relay satellite constellation that orbits the Earth, needed for communications. The only spare space-to-ground antenna is stowed on ESP number 3. That's one of 3 such spare parts platforms on the outside of the station, in this case on the P3 truss of the station. The failed space-to-ground antenna is currently stuck, if you will, in a vertical birdbath position. This position deliberately oriented to facilitate its removal from the boom that it resides on the Z1 truss. Now you see Jessica Meir closing the hatch behind the 2 spacewalkers and isolating Meir and Hathaway from Menon and Adenot.
Houston airlock in step 77. We have completed steps 76 and 77, and you guys are go for step 78.
We copy, Jack. Step 78 and 79 are in work.
Okay, and we will sit tight until you guys are done with 7 all the way through 80, and then we'll pick back up in 81 when you let us know.
Copy, those are in work.
This is Mission Control Houston in the equipment lock section of the Quest airlock. Jack Hathaway on the left, Jessica Meir on the right. They have moved the 2 spacewalkers for today, Anil Menon and Sophie Adenot, into the crew lock section that's behind the hatchway that you see there. As we stand by for the start of the depressurization of the crew lock that will lead to the opening of the hatch and the 2 spacewalkers placing their suits on battery power to mark the official start of today's excursion, the 282nd in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades.
Airlock Houston, Space to Ground 1 for EV crew. You are now hot mic on Space to Ground 1. And Jack, you are go to proceed, picking up with step 81.
1 copy.
2 copies.
And we hear you both.
And airlock, we copy that we are proceeding in step 81. All right, Sophie, I want you to just look and not touch. Can you check on the UIA that the depressed pump power switch is indeed in the off position?
Depressed pump power off OSS.
Verify that the depressed pump enable LED is on ON.
Say again.
Verify the depressed pump enable LED is illuminated, is on ON.
Naval LED is on ON.
Okay, and Houston airlock, we're waiting for your go to do the crew lock depressed Q card in step 84.
Stand by for about 30 seconds. Thanks for your patience, Jack. With that, we are go to step into the crew lock, depress, repress crew card.
Copy, we're go in step 84 to start the Q card. Sophie, I am on the crew lock depress cue card, step 1 on the UIA. Go ahead and take the depress pump power switch to the on position.
Depress pump power on ON.
All right, we're going to wait for 10 seconds, and then I'll give you your next step.
Copy.
It's been 10 seconds. You can take the depress pump manual isolation valve to open, and you can expect an alert tone.
Copy. Manual ISO valve open.
Copy, it's open. You guys can monitor your suit P gauge and make sure it stays below 5.5. If it gets up there, then let us know.
CV2 copy.
1 copy.
And with everything going very smoothly, the depressurization of the crew lock now underway. This will be done in a two-step fashion, first down to 5 pounds per square inch of pressure, and then finally down to vacuum. That will enable the 2 crew members to open the outer thermal cover and the hatch to the crew lock before placing their suits on battery power.
So if I turned on my lights just for...
Yeah, I'm doing the same. This is my box. Thanks. It's on EV2.
With the start of the depressurization of the crew lock underway, we are estimating a start time almost right on the pre-published time of about 7:35 a.m. Central Time, 8:35 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll continue to track that start time for you as we get a bit closer. The crew lock now passing 10 pounds per square inch of pressure.
What's happening? 10 PSI on our way down to 5.
1 copy.
2 copies.
As the depressurization of the crew lock continues, the International Space Station is flying from southwest to northeast across the Pacific Ocean, just about to fly directly over Samoa.
Continuing on down, we're passing 6.5 psi. You guys might get an alert tone at 6 psi. We're working our way down to 5.
1 copy.
Copy.
This is Mission Control Houston, once again monitoring the depressurization of the crew lock on the International Space Station's Quest airlock. You see Jack Hathaway in the equipment lock as he keeps a watchful eye on the 2 spacewalkers who are behind that hatchway. Anil Menon, EV1, or extravehicular crew member number 1, soon to embark on the 2nd spacewalk of his career, and Sophie Adenot of the European Space Agency, EV2. She'll be wearing the suit with its no markings, just a pure white suit, no markings whatsoever on her suit, as EV2 extravehicular crew member number 2. Menon will be first out of the airlock, followed by Adenot. They will set up their tools and tethers, turn on their helmet cameras, and then begin to make their way over to start the process of removing the failed space-to-ground antenna that is sitting on a boom on the Z1 truss of the International Space Station. 2 space-to-ground antennas reside on the station who live side by side to each other. The failed antenna will be replaced by a spare that is housed currently on external stowage platform number 3, ESP number 3, that is on the P3 truss or port 3 truss of the International Space Station.
You'll reach out and put your hand on the depressed pump manual isolation valve and take it to close. You should get an alert tone.
Depressed pump man isolator valve is closed.
All right, glad to hear that. Now we're going to get into a leak check. So both EV1 and EV2, if you'll take your display switch to status until you see a leak check question mark, and then a long yes to execute, follow the displayed instructions, and let us know when you're done.
Copy.
1 copy.
And with the depressurization of the crew lock paused momentarily at 5 pounds per square inch per the procedures, a look at the key players for today's spacewalk. At the top of your screen is veteran astronaut Anne McClain. She will be the intravehicular crew member, or IV crew member, who will be talking to the 2 spacewalkers, guiding them through their procedures as they replace the failed space-to-ground antenna outside of the station today. Seated to her left is spacecraft communicator Steven Zenter. He'll be talking directly to the other crew members inside the space station. Flight Director Chris Dobbins is in the light-colored shirt on console. He is presiding over today's spacewalk, joined to his left by Flight Director Chloe Mering, who will be the flight director on August 25th, in charge of what is known as the triple jump spacewalk, which will see a variety of tasks to reconfigure systems on the outside of the station.
Action alert.
Copy, good leak check for 2. And let me know when you're both in O2 actuator EVA.
Copy.
1's an EVA.
Copy, EV1 and EVA.
EV2, EVA.
Copy, EV2 is O2 actuator and EVA. All right, next step, we're going to continue the depress. EV2, take the depress pump manual isolation valve to open. You can expect an alert tone.
Depress pump man ISO valve open.
Copy, the man isolation valve is open. I'm taking the emergency MPEP out here to the open position as well. And if both EV1 and EV2, monitor your suit P gauge, make sure it stays below 5.5, and if it gets up there, let us know.
1 copy.
2 copies.
The depressurization of the crew lock once again underway after a momentary pause. This will take the crew lock down to vacuum, enabling the outer hatch then to be open, and for the 2 crew members to place their suits on battery power. That will mark the official start of today's spacewalk. Jack Hathaway and Jessica Meir in the equipment lock section of the Quest airlock, monitoring the systems as the crew lock is just about at 2.5 pounds per square inch of pressure. Once again, moving steadily towards vacuum. Today's spacewalk expected to last about 6.5 hours in duration. There is a lot of work with pistol grip tools, the power tools that will be used to unbolt and rebolt a number of connectors and points on the space-to-ground antennas to remove the failed antenna from its boom on the Z1 truss of the station, and to replace it with the spare antenna that currently resides out on the port 3 truss of the complex.
We are decreasing through 2 psi. It's time to take the depress pump off. So, Sophie, if you would take the depress pump manual isolation valve and take it to closed, please.
It is depress pump man ISO valve closed.
Copy, the isolation valve is closed, and on the UIA, take the depress pump power switch to off, OFF.
Alert. depress power off OFF.
Copy off OFF. You guys are awesome. You're going to crush it out there, and we will be here waiting for you in a couple hours to bring you back inside. And with that, Houston, and you got them.
Jack and Jessica, nice job getting the crew ready. Anil and Sophie, it's game day. We are on step 11, and we're ready for your initial tether config.
Good to hear your voice and ready to do some work. Thanks, Jack and Jessica, and here goes the tether config. I'll start with mine, but on the left side, I have a D-ring extender that's connected to a waist tether. The small hook is closed lock black on black, and the large hook is connected to that D-ring extender, so it forms a loop, and that large hook is unlocked. On my right side, I've also got a D-ring extender. The small hook is closed lock black on black, and the large hook is on my NWF unlocked. And then on the right side, the red hook goes direct. My D-ring, closed lock black on black, and that goes to the red reel unlocked. And on the red reel is the green hook, closed lock black on black, and the yellow hook goes to the green reel. It is closed lock black on black, green reel is unlocked, and the anchor hook is on my MWS. I've also got Sophie's anchor hook on my red reel, closed lock black on black, and I'm going to hand it over to Sophie to start her tethers and connect them up where I left off.
Copy, Anil. Thank you very much. So I'll start with my left. I have a D-rig extender on which there is a small hook of a waist tether, gate closed, locked, hooked black on black. The big hook of this waist tether is gate closed, locked, black on black, and goes to the airlock waist tether. Big hook, which is gate closed, locked, black on black. The small hook of this airlock waist tether is gate closed, locked, black on black on the airlock D-ring extender. So for me, that's a good load pass to the airlock. Then I'm going to switch to my right side. On my right D-rig extender, I have a waist tether. Small hook is gate closed, locked, black on black. And the large hook is on my mini workstation. On this right D-rig extender, I also have a red hook from my red reel. This one is gate closed, locked, black on black. My red reel is unlocked, on which there is a green hook, also gate closed, locked, black on black. The yellow hook goes to the green reel. Yellow hook is gate closed, locked, black on black. The green reel is unlocked, and I think Anil verbalized already that
Anchor hook.
the anchor hook is gate closed, locked, black on black, which I double check here on his tethers. So for me, that's a good config.
Okay, Houston is tracking a good initial tether configuration. So when the crew lock DPDT is at 0, you will expect an alert tone.
Copy.
That long list of procedural checks by Anil Menon and Sophie Adenot.
And Anil and Sophie, it's going to be about 10 minutes to get down to that number.
Houston.
You're hearing the voice here in Mission Control of veteran astronaut Anne McClain, who has taken over spacecraft communications duties. She is standing there in the lavender jacket. She will be talking directly to the two spacewalkers, guiding them through their step-by-step procedures as they replace a failed space-to-ground antenna on the Z1 truss of the International Space Station. The spacewalk officer for today's spacewalk, Sandy Fletcher, here in Mission Control, happy with the tether configurations that were reported by Menon and then Adenot just a moment or two ago as the precursor to the crew lock going down to full vacuum. That will occur momentarily, setting the stage for the opening of the outer hatch and the suits being placed on battery power to mark the official start of this 282nd spacewalk in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. The International Space Station is flying 260 miles over Nevada, moving from southwest to northeast in an orbit inclined 51.6 degrees to either side of the equator. The space-to-ground antennas that are the subject of today's spacewalk activities, there are two of them that auto-track, if you will, basically move or swivel to point themselves in the direction of the tracking and data relay satellite system, part of the Ku-band system that enables high data rate communications for payloads, video, crew procedures, and other systems on the International Space Station. The failed antenna, first identified with degraded performance last November.
Sophie, the depress is looking good. We're just under 1 psi, and reports from the EVA group is that was one of the clearest tether configs that they have ever heard.
Off to a good start, Ann. Thank you. Thank you.
And McLean reporting a good report card for the two spacewalkers on their tether configurations before they venture outside of the crew lock into the void of space. The failed space-to-ground antenna, which first exhibited degradation in its performance back in November, has a failed gimbal assembly, meaning it can no longer point in the direction of the TDRS constellation that's needed for proper communications. So the spare space-to-ground antenna, which is on external stowage platform number 3, out on the port 3 truss of the station, will be brought into play today, first delivered to the station on the STS-127 mission back in 2009. The antenna that is degraded and will be replaced today was delivered and installed on the station on the STS-132 mission back in 2010. We're now sitting at about 0.7 pounds per square inch of pressure in the crew lock, approaching vacuum.
And Anil and Sophie, we're showing you at about 0.65 or just under.
Good copy. Good copy.
With the crew lock section of the Quest airlock approaching vacuum, we are expecting today's spacewalk to start just about on time at about 7:35 a.m. Central, 8:35 a.m. Eastern Time. And again, we'll keep you posted. The official start time to be marked when Menon and Adenot place their suits on battery power. Menon soon to begin the second spacewalk of his career, Adenot her first. with the crew lock section at 0.5 pounds per square inch, and just a bit below that, actually. The spacewalk officer here in Mission Control, Sandy Fletcher, is good to proceed with the next series of steps, final communications and leak checks prior to the time the crew places their suits on battery power to mark the official start of today's excursion.
Well, that will work for us. You are go to open the hatch and stow it and ensure the emergency MPEV is closed.
Happy go, EV1.
And Anil, you don't have to worry about that.
And
The MPEV, that's for Jack.
The hatch to the crew lock is now open.
Right, open and stowed.
Standing by for the crew to put their suits on battery power.
I put down my visor. Copy, visor down, EV2.
Okay, copy. Hatch is open and stowed.
Confirm, EV1.
Okay, we are now moving into post-depress. On your DCMs, switch power to BAT, stagger your switch throws, and expect a warning tone.
EV1 is going to go first. Confirm. That. Okay, EV2 going now. That. Expected CPI.
And for EV2, Sophie, did you say that power is BAT?
Power is BAT. I have CP high. What's expected?
Copy. EV1 and 2 powers to BAT and suit P high message, and that is expected. You're right. At this time, you can switch your display to Pro and verify a functional display.
EV1 sees functional display.
EV2 functional display.
Copy. Step 3. On the UIA, EV2, Sophie, switch power EV1 and 2 to off, OFF. And check that the LEDs all 4 go off.
Copy. In work. EV1 power off, OFF. And 2 LEDs off. EV2 power OFF and 2 LED off.
Copy. Step 4, for both crew, you can remove your SCU from your DCM. You'll install your DCM cover and stow the SCU in the pouch with your pouch Velcro closed.
This is Mission Control Houston, with Menon and Adenot having placed their suits on battery power. The official start time for today's spacewalk, 7:29 a.m. Central Time, 8:29 a.m. Eastern Time. The 282nd spacewalk in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades now officially underway. Start time, 7:29 a.m. Central, 8:29 a.m. Eastern Time.
And 1 is stowed.
Anil Menon will be first out of the airlock, followed shortly thereafter by Sophie Adenot.
Crew is towed.
For EV2, Sophie, we understand SCU is disconnected and in the pouch.
SCU disconnected and in the pouch.
Copy, thanks. And we'll wait on EV1 to proceed.
EV1 is disconnected and in the pouch.
Copy, and can you both verify that your DCM cover is installed?
DCM cover installed.
DCM cover is installed.
Copy. EV2, Sophie, check that the depressed pump man ISO valve is closed.
Press pump man ISO valve closed.
Copy. Both crew, on your DCM, take your temp control valve to max hot, which is lower numbers. Good opportunity to use the mirror.
What is max hot?
Can work. Two max hot.
Copy. Both crew and max hot. You can switch water on ON.
On, water on.
Water on, ON.
Copy. Both crew, water on. Check your DCM is blank and your bite is off.
EV1, DCM blank, bite off.
EV2, DCM blank, bite off.
Copy. This time you can set your temperature control valve as desired. Please report those settings, and a reminder throughout the EVA to let us know if you make TCV changes, and best practice is not to do large changes over 2.
2 copies.
2 copies, TCV 5.
TCV 6 on 1.
Copy 6 for EV1.
And EV2 had 5.
Yeah, 5 for EV2.
Copy 6 and 5. Report suit pressure gauge.
Pressure gauge on EV1 is 4.
Spacewalk intravehicular crew member Ann McLean is reviewing the correct configuration for spacesuit systems with Anil Menon and Sophie Adenot before Menon moves outside of the Quest airlock to set up his tethers and tools, followed by Adenot in the first stages of today's spacewalk to replace a failed space-to-ground antenna on the International Space Station.
And standby 1, will we check suit data? And Anil and Sophie, we are just looking at data. We're going to hold you here for a minute. We had an LED on the PSA, so we're going to be running a PSA recovery from fault. So we'll just stand by where you're at for a couple minutes.
Standing by.
Standing by.
Okay, Anil and Soph, thanks for your patience there. And we just have the IV crew running some steps on the PSA, but it does not impact you. So at this time, Anil, you are go to open the hatch thermal cover. You can unhook the strap from the magnetic plate D-ring, move the hook to the integral tether point, and cinch the strap until snug. When you do, please report number of Sharpie lines.
Hey. Opening the thermal cover now. One, Scott, thermal cover, open, 6 Sharpie lines.
Copy. It is open, and you got 6 Sharpie lines. You are go to egress the airlock, and your first step is to attach your anchor hook, EV1 anchor hook, to the forward airlock D-ring.
One is egressing now and looking for forward.
Okay, your tethers are looking good from here and all good.
It is.
And just about 11 minutes into today's spacewalk, the outer thermal hatch on the Quest airlock is now open. We'll be seeing Anil Menon exit the airlock momentarily, followed by Sophie Adenot, who is now the first French woman in history to conduct a spacewalk on behalf of the European Space Agency.
Will do. Crew look back, number 1.
Dan, I've got my safety tether in the forward airlock D-ring. That anchor hook is closed lock, black on black, giving me a good load path to structure.
Copy and concur. You can now attach the EV2 anchor hook to the aft airlock D-ring.
The space station is currently flying over northwest Africa, moving from northwest to southeast.
And EV2 is on the aft D-ring, closed lock, black on black, giving Sophie a good load path to structure. Sophie's go to unlock her waist tether, and I will get in position for that crew lock bag 1.
Okay, I am ready to pass the crew lock bag 1. I double check it's number 1. I will wait a minute before, I'll pass the bag first before and I exit before I release my airlock, since I have to,
Sounds great, Sophie. I'm going to get my BOT ready. I'll tell you when I'm in a good position.
Copy all.
And we concur with all your words. Great teamwork. And Anil, eventually you'll go on the forward side. And then, Sophie, as you release the crew lock bag to him, please just let us know if you are leaving the large small in the airlock or if you're taking the large small with the crew lock bag.
So the plan is to leave the large small in the airlock, and the small red that is currently attached, once Anil will be ready to the bag, then I will put it back on the UIA tether point.
Hey, Sophie, I'm reaching for the bag. I see you.
I see you have control of the bag.
I do. Let me get my ret on it.
Mm-hmm.
That is Anil Menon, who's just outside of the Quest airlock, receiving the crew lock bag with tools and other equipment needed for today's replacement of the space-to-ground antenna on the Z1 truss of the station.
Put this on my BRT, and then I will clear some space, or I'll get ready for that RU bag.
Copy. I confirm the small red is on the airlock UIA tether point.
Great to hear.
And I'm getting ready for the bag, but take your time for the medium RU bag.
Do that. Give me a second to get this BRT squared away.
Sure. Take your time.
Okay, my BRT is back and away, and I have a ret ready for the medium RU bag.
Copy. I'm ready to pass the medium RU bag. Sure, it's clear on my tether.
See it?
You see it?
I have control.
Copy.
I now have a ret on the handle.
Copy.
And let's see. Let's see the airlock ret. I'm going to shake it. It's right here, right?
Yes, I confirm.
Okay. It's coming off. I'll tell you when it's released.
I am ready.
Okay, it's coming back to you.
Copy. I have the ret.
You have the ret.
Yep.
Okay, I'm clearing some space.
And the red is on the same tether point, UIA tether point aft.
Okay.
Copy and good config.
And I am ready to egress whenever you give me the go.
You have the go.
Copy. Egressing now.
I see you coming out.
Your hands. Hi, Anil.
Hello.
Okay. I am going to the aft side. I already have a local, so I keep it. And now I'm putting my end effector. All right, I'm out. I'm ready for the beta check. Oh, maybe before. Yeah, I'll take my bag before. Yeah, that's true.
As you like.
That's a good idea.
Okay, I'm just move some tangles here. Okay. There's an ORU bag when you're ready.
Yep, and we're for my VRT.
Good time.
Nice egress. We can see both of you on the camera. You guys are looking great. And as you guys get situated with the bags on your BRTs, just a reminder that to tighten your BRT knobs and really take a look at where your ORU bags and crew lock bags are. The divers are not as much of a help in space, so you want to keep those nicely tucked to your body, and you may need to use those joints on the BRT.
Copy.
Ann McLean, the spacecraft communicator here in Mission Control, jokingly indicating the word divers, a reference to those engineers who assist astronauts in their training in the neutral buoyancy laboratory here at the Johnson Space Center in spacewalk practices. Anil Menon outside of the airlock, as is Sophie Adenot, Menon wearing the suit bearing the red stripes, Adenot with the unmarked suit, as they make sure that they have all of the orbital replacement unit bags with their tools and tethers and all of the other equipment that they'll be using during today's spacewalk to replace a failed space-to-ground antenna on the truss of the International Space Station.
I see your red on it.
Okay, let me double check. My red is on it. Yeah. I'm just going to put the large hook where I expect it to be. Like here. Here goes.
I'll let you release my red.
Yeah, I'm ready to release your red. The red is released.
I see it. Let me just put it on my MWS and I'll be ready for the buddy check.
Copy.
And I think I'll readjust my ERT a little bit too.
I just want to make sure my tethers are on the right side of the ERT, and it's in work.
And as you complete the medium ORU bag stowage, Anil, your step after this is going to be to close the thermal cover. No rush on that, but if you'd like to start getting into position. And after that, we'll be doing buddy checks.
Yeah, in order for him to close the thermal cover, I will need to change my status position. Standby 1,
I've got it. I'll just hold the thermal cover here.
Yep.
I see your waist tether up. I see the airlock waist tether.
Yep, you are go for that. My VRT is rigidized. In position.
Okay, thermal cover closed.
Copy. Thermal cover closed. Your next step will be buddy checks if you'd like to get into position where you can see one another. And I'll just remind you of the list as you get into position. We're going to be turning on our HECAs. Then we'll be checking for green LEDs, MWS and BRT tabs, safer handlers, and tethers and tools.
All right. I'll start off, Sophie, okay?
Yeah.
I see one green light. I see your 4 lights, headlamps are on, just confirming that for you. I see your 2 safer handles are down, and I see your 3 tabs are up. Taking a look at your tools and tethers now, and while I'm doing that, think about your hat and gloves.
Okay, my hat is dry and gloves are baseline nominal.
Tool and tethers look good. The only thing I have for you is your left waist tether. It goes off of your D-ring extender on the outside of your BRT to that circular handrail.
Yes,
so
I see that.
just be aware when you take it down on the outside.
Yep, I see that, and for now I will leave it like this. It's decoupled from the tethers. Let me check for you. I see one good green HECA light. I see your 2 helmet lights, nominal. I see your 3 tabs up. I see 1 and, oh, all right. Your left safer handle is up.
25 minutes into today's spacewalk, Anil Menon and Sophie Adenot performing what are called buddy checks, basically examining each other's suits and tethers to make sure everything is in order before they move away from the Quest airlock. They're also reporting that their HAPs, or helmet absorption pads, are dry. That's the way they should be in their helmets, and that their gloves are looking good as they set out to the work site that will enable them to begin the first part of today's spacewalk, the procedures to remove a failed space-to-ground antenna from the Z1 truss of the station.
All right. Let me check your tools and config. I see the tether config is good and all the sliders are as expected. Tools and tethers look good to me. And I see your bag resis and your BRT. And yeah, that's awesome, Anil.
Okay.
And Sophie, can you just confirm that you checked both safer handles, please?
Yeah, both safer handles are down. The one that was up was ISO valve on the left side. Now it is down. The 2 are down, I can confirm.
I've got a dry hat, Dan.
Copy, thanks, and copy HAP. So at this time, Anil, you can begin your translation to ESP2 forward. Reminder as you go around that the whiff 6 is where you're headed, and that is the portmost whiff on the front of ESP2. Sophie, at this time, you can perform some translation adaptation to get used to your new environment. Welcome to space.
Thank you. Copy all. Adaptation. I will do minimal adaptation. I feel very good now and ready to go. I'll just wait for Anil's tethers to be clear before I leave.
Okay, good plan. And just a reminder for both of you as you translate to take a look at those handrails and don't slide the gloves on the back of the handrails. If you see any strikes or anything, let us know.
Those instructions from Ann McLean indicating that Menon will make his way to external stowage platform number 2, which is alongside the Quest airlock, to retrieve the articulating portable foot restraint that he will install at the end of the Canadarm2 robotic arm. He'll be maneuvered by Jack Hathaway, who will be operating from a robotics workstation inside the International Space Station.
And Anil is clear, and you're happy with the tethers.
While Menon plants his booted feet in that foot restraint, moving around at the end of the arm to maneuver to the various work sites with the failed space-to-ground antenna and then the replacement antenna.
So I'll give it a go now, going slow in order to be sure that I'm clear of Anil's tether.
Copy, good plan. And if you need to put any fair leads in, just let us know. Anil, as you come around to the front side of the ESP2, reminder not to come in contact with the AGB grapple fixture. That is on the nadir side of the front of ESP2. It's the center ORU facing forward.
I've got eyes on that grapple fixture.
All right, eyes only.
Anil, I see your tether. I leave it on my left, and I double check that it's not in my bag.
Yep, and you'll find as you come around the corners is when that bag's going to want to swing. So you're going to be coming around to the forward side of the airlock, and as you come up, we're going to recommend that you stay starboard of the CETA rail to keep your tether routed that way.
Say again?
Yep, as you come up to the top of the airlock, we're going to keep you on the starboard side of the CETA rail, just as you're going right now, just to keep your tether routed on that side.
Yes.
So you're going to come up the airlock toolbox, and if you see a handrail 0551, you are in the right place. You're going to turn right, hit the wagon wheel, and go zenith.
Okay. Up of the toolbox. I'm going to take the forward pass, the V1.
Okay, we understand you're going to go on the forward path. So reminder, it's probably easiest to translate on the high-pressure gas tanks. They've got those handrails that'll put you right at the base of the forward path to Z1.
Copy. In work.
And for Anil, we see you at the APFR in with 6. You're going to be bundling the crew lock bag, and as we talked about, you're just going to remove your crew lock bag from the VRT and attach the other crew lock bag ret to the APFR, and then retrieve the APFR.
Crew lock bag is on the APFR, so I'm going to move the APFR now.
And Sophie, as you get up there, I'm sure you're going to get a nice view of the SAS antenna. You're also going to see some heat pipe radiators. Those are going to be the big squares that are shiny, and those are a no-touch.
Yep. Copy. I changed my mind going for the outside of Z1. Yeah, it was a change of plane slightly challenging, so I'm now on the outside and everything goes nominal.
Okay, we are happy with that. So we see you coming to the starboard side, or port side rather, of those high pressure gas tanks, and you'll be reaching across to Z1. You should see handrails pointing zenith that look like 6001, 6002, 6003 to take you right up to Z1.
Yep. I'm mindful of the ATSR and the social antenna.
Bill's got the APSR, and he's headed back to S1.
Okay, we concur. Reminders, you come back around toward those airlock toolboxes just to keep an eye on tethers. Sophie's going to be tracking up from the airlock to the starboard side of the cedar rail. Sophie, we see you arriving up at the Z1 work site. Welcome. Your first step is going to be to temp stow the ORU bag on the S-cant boom handrail. Reminder to be slow translating on that Z1 boom and avoid sudden stops or cyclic loading.
Palki.
Sophie Adenot is making her way to the Z1 truss. This is the center section of the backbone of the station on which both space-to-ground antennas, the healthy one and the failed one, are located side by side.
We think a good config would be to put the large hook onto handrail number 2. Reminded that they're numbered from the base of the Z1 up, so 2, it would be the second one facing aft. And if that large small can move up and down handrail 2, we think the bag access will be the best.
Copy. Thanks, Anne. Just working now for one fair lead of my 50 tether so that the next step is going to be easier when I come back, when I go to ESP3 translation.
We copy, good plan.
And this one fair lead is going to be a four-man fair lead around 605.
Yep, and I think I heard 6052, is that correct?
Yes, affirm.
Okay, yeah, we like that plan. And a reminder, that's going to be where you put an AET later when you stow the S-cant there. So good recon. Like a good helicopter pilot, you like your recons.
Yep. All right.
And I got to look at that EPFR as I was passing the starboard one. There was no sharp edges that I saw. It would have taken a little bit of work to get some photos, so I just bypassed it. I saw some scuffing on the heels. It looked like paint removal, but no sharp edges.
Okay, we copy and we appreciate that report.
Okay, Sophie is in position for the bag stowage with local on 6051 and end effector on number 2.
Copy, we like that plan. Once you do have that down, then you can pause there for a glove and HEP check after your translation.
Copy, and I will also change my TCV setting.
We copy change of TCV settings.
38 minutes into today's spacewalk, Sophie Adenot is at the Z1 truss of the International Space Station. She'll be removing a heat shield from part of the mechanism on the boom of The apparatus upon which the failed ESCANT is mounted, it's called an AGIT, which is an acronym for the Antenna Group Interface Tube. This is essentially the mechanism on the boom upon which all the electronics are interwoven. She'll be removing a heat shield from that boom as one of the first steps in the removal of the failed antenna. Meanwhile, Anil Menon, you're looking at the helmet camera view from Menon. He is retrieving a portable foot restraint from a stowage platform alongside the Quest airlock that he will mount at the end of the Canadarm2 robotic arm that will be operated later by NASA astronaut Jack Hathaway from a robotics workstation in the station to maneuver Menon back and forth to position the failed space-to-ground antenna. Once it is removed from its boom on the Z1 truss, and then ultimately to maneuver the spare antenna to that location on the Z1 truss for its installation.
Good view of the thermal radiator flap and the MMOD strikes.
The MMOD on the one on the
Okay, we copy the report, thanks.
And I'm up to Cedarburg.
Copy, you're going to head left, starboard. You're to the F1 NTA, which is mile marker 6900, 6900. And Sophie, as you get things stowed, your first action is going to be to remove the heat shield. So you'll be opening at that bag, and you'll be tethering to the agate heat shield and to put it in that bag.
Copy. Right now, I can confirm I have 2 AET, 1 on the handrail 2 and 1 on the handrail 1, and I'm currently removing my VRT. The bag is a good config. I'm going to sit it down so that it doesn't fly away.
Hey, and Sophie, I am in place now, so if you have some comms, Sophie, now's the time. Otherwise, I would start chatting with Jessica.
Yeah, got plenty of them. I know my next step is the heat shield, and that's coming right after the VRT storage.
Yep, and for Sophie, just a couple cautions to avoid contact with the ESCANT dish and the gimbals. And the max loads on the ESCANT is 45 pounds, which is 20 kilograms. Your steps that you can go ahead and take is to go up and retrieve the heat shield. You're going to tether to it and release the quarter-turn fasteners. And then a reminder that over on the starboard side underneath, there is an elastic strip that you need to remove. And then you can stow that agate heat shield into the ORU bag. For Anil, I can give you a go to speak with M1.
Love that. Hello, Jessica. I am in place. I see the arm and I see good clearance. Your go for APSR install.
Okay, we copy that your go for the GCA to the published position. This is going to bring the arm toward you, station aft.
Copy.
Anil, we're starting the arm motion in 3, 2, 1.
Jessica Meir is accompanying Jack Hathaway at a robotics workstation inside the station. As you can see, Hathaway is the prime robotics operator for today's spacewalk. maneuvering the Canadarm2 into the right position so that Menon can install the portable foot restraint at the end of the arm. He'll be riding at the end of the arm to move the space-to-ground antennas, the failed one and the replacement antenna, back and forth for the replacement work that is yet to be accomplished during today's spacewalk, which is now 43 minutes in duration. Meanwhile, Sophie Adenot, in the first hour of her first spacewalk in her career, is about to remove a heat shield from the antenna group interface tube. That is the tube on the boom of the failed space-to-ground antenna on the Z1 truss of the station that houses the electronics for that mechanism.
Let's call GCA complete here.
Okay, copy GCA complete. Stand by while we get breaks. Anil, brakes are on. You go for APFR install and ingress.
Copy, go for APFR install and ingress.
All right, Anil, your APFR settings are 12 Papa Papa Fox 6, and up to you if you'd like to reset the APFR and then put it in. It might be a little easier to access. You'll be looking for 12 for the clocking. 12 Papa Papa Fox 6.
Copy 12 Papa Papa Fox 6, and APFR is currently set.
And Sophie, when you have a moment to pause, if we could get a good glove and hap check, please.
Sure. Pausing right now, and hat is dry. Those are nominal. Some dark spots on the RTV of my left hand. I put it in front of the HECA, but really minor dark.
Okay, we copy the markings. If you have any other information like color or size, that's great. Right now, we'll take that as a nominal glove and hap check.
Nominal color is black, and size is just less than a fingernail.
Yep, thanks.
And Neil's got APFR. Neil's got the APFR installed, 12 Papa Papa Foxtrot 6. And I got a locking collar, black on black, good pull, twist test. Pitch knob is depressible.
Anil Menon installing the portable foot restraint at the end of Canadarm2. Sophie Adenot reporting that her gloves look good and no issues with the helmet absorption pad in her helmet. It's nice and dry, just the way it should be, as we pass the 47-minute mark in today's spacewalk. The two spacewalkers, Menon and Adenot, setting up shop for the removal of the failed space-to-ground antenna. This will involve installing 12 gimbal lock bolts to prevent any inadvertent motion of the dish on the space-to-ground antenna during its transport over to its temporary parking place on the truss of the station, and ultimately for its installation on ESP3, which currently houses the spare space-to-ground antenna that will replace the failed antenna later in today's spacewalk.
And Anil and Sophie, I'm back with you on comm. We're waiting for video to come up.
Copy. Come.
And Anil, when you're in a good position and ready to walk through tether swap steps, let me know. Sophie says I can't see you. Let me know if you need any additional steps for the agate heat shield removal, and then we'll be taking over comm for the tether swap.
Oh, no, all good. Just working on the translating up the boom.
Okay, copy. And since we are in our first night pass, as you can tell, reminder that your helmet lights have 3 settings: off, spot, and flood. And each time you push the button, you get a different setting if you need it.
Thanks for the reminder.
Thank you.
And the mill's ready for the tether swap.
Okay, Anil, for the tether swap, the first thing that we're going to do, you have a waist tether down, I assume?
Waist tether's down, end effector is down. Waist tether is down, end effector's down. Hey, Sophie, how copy?
I copy you loud and clear.
All right.
Tell me.
Loud and clear.
Copy. The tether from the ORU bag is on the heat shield, and I double-checked both sides. It's all good, so I'm now going to remove the quarter turn fastener.
Gotcha.
And for Anil, can you
how do you
confirm you have
copy?
a waist tether down?
Waist tether is down, end effector is down. How copy, Ann?
We hear you, Neil. Ann is troubleshooting a headset issue.
I hear you loud and clear. I can relay some information if needed. Anil, I hear both Ann and you.
Okay,
Yeah, I
Anil,
hear
Sophie,
Ann
comm
and
check.
you. Loud and clear, Ann.
Loud and clear.
Great, let's keep going. So Anil, you've got your waist tether down. Your first step is going to be to lock your green hook on your red reel.
Green hook is locked on red reel.
You can now retrieve your yellow hook from the green reel, and you're going to stow that on the SSRMS Lee tether point. Yellow hook to the SSRMS Lee tether point, and that will be locked.
Okay. Yellow hook is on the SSRMS, right?
And yes, from yellow hook
Yellow
to
hook
the...
is it's on and it's locked.
Copy, understand gate closed and hook locked on the Lee tether point. You can now...
Gate closed, locked.
All right, and then check that your red reel is unlocked.
Red reel's unlocked.
Copy, you can now lock your green reel, and then you're going to retrieve your green hook, and you're going to stow it on the S1 NTA handrail. So lock the green reel.
Okay, I'm going to transfer to truck, then I'll do that and report back.
Copy, and if you need it, the S1 NTA handrail is directly above mile marker 6870.
And McLean working with Anil Menon to make sure that all of his tethers are in the right configuration. He is at the end of the Canadarm2 robotic arm. Alongside him, Sophie Adenot, as they set up shop for the beginning of the process to remove the failed space-to-ground antenna on the Z1 truss of the International Space Station that began to exhibit degraded performance last November.
It is far down. And all the other sides are 100% covered with aluminum shield. There's no risk of fraud because everything is attached, and I'm in the process of removing it.
Okay, we copy the report. We do not see it in the camera view. The camera view, just so you know, ends right where the agate handrails start, so just below the heat shield, and we're talking about the report.
Okay, let me go up so that I can show it to you before finishing the removal. Do you see it now?
That's a good view, thank you.
All right. Okay, I'm going to finish the removal.
And Sophie, when you get a chance, can you tell us there's something that may be on the agate that caused that damage?
I think my suspicion is that sunlight is intense on this side, on the forward side, and the sun, like the thread that is the cross that has like the pattern of the thread here is damaged. I would say it's too much sun rays on it. That said, I see that the aft side also has the beginning of this, right where the thread is in a pattern of cross. And I can point it with my finger. It's right here. There's no risk of fraud, but it's of course that's sufficient, I guess.
Okay, copy. We have a decent view of it. If you wouldn't mind pulling it down and right, and just then we'll get a little bit better view of that. We really appreciate the report.
Okay, down and right like this?
That is beautiful, and then just slowly move it to the right, and we'll be able to see the whole thing.
Okay. Every side of it has a little bit of aluminum torn stuff.
Again, the heat shield that Sophie Adenot is displaying is basically the wrapping around the antenna gimbal interface tube, the agate, as it is called. It's essentially where the electronics are located on the boom where the SGANT antenna, the failed antenna, is housed on the Z1 truss.
And for Anil, back with you for your green hook on the S1 NTA handrail.
Yeah, I am just unwinding tethers here, I think with the crew lock bag. Got them looped, but I have a solution, so I'll be unwound soon.
Okay, copy. Just let us know when you're ready to proceed.
Will do.
For Sophie, as you get the heat shield into the ORU bag, your next step is going to be to retrieve the gimbal locks, and for installation, you can either BRT in position and then grab them from the ORU bag, or if you need to grab them and then translate up and get in position, that's fine too.
Yeah, so I'm going to wet myself to the gimbals, and I just folded the heat shield inside out so that it doesn't get more damage. And I'm going to tuck it under the integral adjustable here so that it's really well protected.
We like that config. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, the tethers are unwound. I'm headed to the anchor point.
Copy. Good work. So you'll be putting the green hook on the NTA handrail above mile marker 6870. It's just to the inboard side of the stanchion that says 07.
This is Mission Control Houston. As we approach the 1 hour mark in today's spacewalk, The reports are very, very good. The crew is right on the timeline as they work their way to remove the heat shield along the boom of the space-to-ground antenna location on the Z1 truss. Also, their suits are operating as advertised. No issues reported so far in today's spacewalk, the 282nd in support of space station assembly maintenance and upgrades. In this view, you see Anil Menon wearing the suit bearing the red stripes as he prepares to accompany Adenot in the removal and installation of a series of gimbal lock bolts. There are 2 sets of these bolts. The first set is 4 bolts. The second set consists of 8 bolts. They will restrain the antenna from inadvertent movement during the time that it is not only removed but transported to its temporary stowage location on the truss of the station and eventually on external stowage platform number 3.
Okay, the green reel is locked.
Copy, green reel locked, and you'll be retrieving the hook to the handrail and then unlocking it.
Green hook is off. And the green hook is on the handrail. The green reel is unlocked.
Copy. Your next step is to ingress the APFR. We recommend you'll be head zenith, and you can use the pump module handrail as to stabilize yourself for ingress.
Menon finishing up the preparatory work for his planting of his feet in the articulating portable foot restraint at the end of Canadarm 2, upon which he will be maneuvered back and forth in the transport of the failed space-to-ground antenna and its replacement over the next several hours. The robotic arm being operated primarily by Jack Hathaway from a robotics workstation inside the International Space Station, accompanied by Jessica Meir.
I would like to reinstall it. It's right in front of my heck of view, if you see it.
We see it, checking.
Copy. And for your information as well, the heat shield didn't want to stay tucked in, although I thought I have done a very good job of it.
No worries. You are go to reinstall that TA clamp, and just a reminder that about potential sharp edges on those, so just take a look closely and you're go to reinstall.
This is Mission Control Houston. Just to recap, today's spacewalk by Anil Menon and Sophie Adenot began when they placed their suits on battery power at 7:29 a.m. Central Time, 8:29 a.m. Eastern Time. They moved out of the Quest airlock, set up their tools and tethers. Menon is completing the installation of a portable foot restraint at the end of Canadarm2. He'll be transported around the vicinity of the work sites at the end of the robotic arm to maneuver the failed space-to-ground antenna to a stowage location, and then maneuvering the replacement antenna that is currently housed on ESP3, the external stowage platform number 3, on the P3 truss or port 3 truss of the station. It will be installed in a boom on the Z1 truss. That's the middle portion right in the center of the uprights of the truss of the International Space Station. There are 2 such space-to-ground antennas. The one being replaced today was installed on the STS-132 mission. Back in 2010, the replacement antenna was delivered to the station in 2009 on the STS-127 mission.
And Anil, as you get into the APFR, we see about there, reminder, give yourself a good tug test. Make sure you're really comfortable with your heels. Once we get moving, we won't have too much opportunity to redo those. So once you're happy, just let us know.
I feel pretty happy. They feel solid.
Copy. We've got a camera looking big brother right over your shoulder, and you look good there. So at this time, we'll take a glove and a half check, please.
Half dry. Gloves are nominal.
Copy. I'm going to give you the comm here in just a second for your first, to build your frequent flyer miles on the arm. But for Sophie, for the gimbal locks, we're going to have you, once you get into position, I'm going to give you a couple steps so Anil can take the comm. You'll take gimbal lock number 1, which is the one with 4 bolts, and that's going to install on the aft side, so 4 bolts on the aft side, and you're going to manually put in approximately 2 turns in any order on those bolts. You're going to continue to do those. Turn count is important, so please notice and report those turn counts as able with comm.
Copy.
And McLean reporting to Sophie Adenot about the beginning of the work to install gimbal locks on the failed space-to-ground antenna. These gimbal locks are physical locking pins used to secure the antenna's movable joints during launch, installation, and today's transfer operations for the spacewalk.
The published backoff position.
And Jessica, how copy?
Got you loud and clear now.
All right, let's do it like we practiced. I'm ready to go to the backoff position.
Okay, we copy. You're ready for the backoff. We'll get set up.
And Jessica Meir, working with Jack Hathaway at the robotics workstation inside, ready to move the Canadarm2 away from the truss of the station, now that Menon has planted his feet in the portable foot restraint that he installed just a few moments ago.
Anil, we're going to bring you station forward, starting motion in 3, 2, 1.
I see motion, good motion. I've got good clearances, as I know you do.
A good view of Anil Menon at the end of the station's Canadarm2 as he is being backed away under the controls of Jessica Meir and Jack Hathaway. He'll be maneuvered to the Z1 truss to join Sophie Adenot for the procedures to install gimbal locks, these locking pins on the failed space-to-ground antenna before it is basically disassembled from the boom upon which it has resided for the past 16 years.
And ground concurs. And Sophie, as you get set up, if you need to redo RETs, you can. And BRT to 003 is our recommendation. It looks like you're just about to get that in place. Nice work.
I'm already BRT to 003 and working on the install of the number 1 gimbal lock.
Copy. And Anil, for both, a couple words on HECUS for both of you. Anil, it appears that maybe you may have bumped a button. If you don't mind cycling that and turning it back on. And for Sophie, no rush, but when you have a free hand, we think maybe your HECA got bumped downward. So we kind of are looking down at your MWS. Still a great view. Don't stop what you're doing, but when you have a chance, we're going to move that back up.
And then my green light was on, but I'm power cycling it.
Copy. Thank you. Good info.
Copies.
And Anil, this is Jessica. Are you ready for the maneuvers to intermediate through Z1 backoff?
Anil is ready.
Okay, that'll be about 3.5 minutes. Starting motion in 3, 2, 1.
I see motion. Good motion.
Once these 12 gimbal locks are installed, these locking pins to prevent any inadvertent motion of the dish while it's in the process of being removed and transported to its temporary parking place. The actual release of the failed antenna will be through 4 bolts that will be driven by Adenot with the assistance of Anil Menon. 4 bolts holding that space-to-ground antenna on the boom of the Z1 truss on the station.
I think I'm going to have to wait for Anil to install it. And now what I see is that if I put the 2 bottom ones, Charlie and Bravo, into their location, then the 2 top ones are too high.
Okay, we are tracking. And if we wait for Anil, that's okay. If you'd like to continue to troubleshooting it, just make sure that there's no side loads pulling on it. Maybe one of the AETs, or if gimbal lock number 2, it looks like it might be kind of stuck behind one of those NZGL cables. And if you free that, it might give you a little bit more of a push.
Uh-huh. I think, yeah. From what I observed, I'll try this, but from what I observed, it's distance between the top and the bottom bolts, which is not good right now.
When I get there, do you have suggested solutions?
Yeah. So ideally, if you could get a hand like to the key handle to try to change like EV alignment. But from what I observed from here, it seems aligned. Just the distance, which just doesn't seem right. Like there's 1 centimeter difference, which is kind of interesting. Okay, I just locked the other red. I'm gonna give it another go. Now there's no side load at all.
Okay, we are tracking and we're talking about it.
See?
And can you, for my purposes, can you remind me what bolt you're looking at?
Charlie Bravo and Delta Alpha. Yeah. What would be easier then is I would take care of Charlie and Delta to check the alignment, and you would take care of your side, the starboard ones, which are Bravo and Alpha. For now, either I align the 2 top ones or the 2 bottom ones, but I cannot do like the 4 there.
Copy.
And we copy, Sophie. We're talking about it also.
Copy.
And so to clarify, you believe that if you hand start, say, Bravo Charlie, that Delta and Alpha will not reach, or if you do Delta Alpha, that Bravo Charlie will not reach? Is that a good read?
That's a good read. But I'm slightly too later oriented, so I would be able to confirm only if I move, which is kind of tricky right now because I have the 2 gimbals and all the equipment, so it's better to wait for Anil in that position. I tried to, yeah.
Okay, we copy.
Right now, I just hand started Charlie and Bravo how to turn each. But what I observe, yeah, so it doesn't work. Or maybe it just needs some more force to attack.
Okay, we copied half turn on Bravo and Charlie, and that they need a second set of hands for the rest.
Yes.
All right, well, we knew there would be some curveballs, so we're ready.
Yeah.
I'll be there in a bit.
I'm pausing here, just making sure there's no side load, so we're good on that.
Anil, we're going to start motion for your next JoeCast in 3, 2, 1. So we'll be bringing your body in and down a little bit right to get to the Z1 back off position.
No copies. See motion, good motion, and I'll provide clearances where I can from the dish and Sophie.
I see the day is coming, so I'm going to turn my riser.
And that's a good adjustment, Sophie. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. I can even point it better so that you can see. I have a very good view of Anil, of the arm, of the SESA antenna.
We see the same thing. We've got a great view from your HECA of, we can kind of see Bravo Charlie Alpha, and we see Anil off to the right.
Okay.
And Sophie, if you're able, we understand half turn on Bravo and Charlie. If you're able to go to the full 2 turns, we think it'll be a slightly better config for those 2 bolts.
Copy. It's a full 2 turn on Charlie and Bravo.
Copy 2 on Charlie and Bravo. Thank you.
It was awesome in your menu.
Thank you. All right, I got good clearances here still.
Yeah. Issues.
Yeah, I mean, I see the issue here from this angle. I don't know if you guys can see that in the head. Basically, it's
way too low.
Can you guys see the HECA? As you said, Ann, a picture's worth 1,000 words, but I can describe it.
We have both of your HECAs. We're not quite close enough with your HECA, Neil, to make out the detail. We can see Sophie's pretty well.
Okay. I think what I'm seeing is the scan body where she's trying to soft dock. It seems like it's about 15 degrees angled away from the gimbal lock. The gimbal lock seems like it's in the right place. Like it is parallel with the boom. So that when you get to the F-scan, it angles off from it. Let me see if I can turn some.
Yeah. I mean, what I observed from here is as if the antenna was too tall.
Yeah, that's a great description, and we see the same thing on the helmet cam. We're talking about that.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if it would help to position the forward side as well.
Well, if I think if I can get
also
the antenna moved purely.
This is Mission Control Houston, 1 hour, 21 minutes into today's spacewalk. Anil Menon at the end of the station's robotic arm, along with Sophie Adenot of the European Space Agency. At the work site, you're looking in the foreground of the failed space-to-ground antenna that began to exhibit degraded performance last November with an inability for it to gimbal or track properly the Tracking and Data Relay Satellite System Network for high-speed communications of data, voice, and video. It is stuck basically in what is called the birdbath position. In the background at the top of your screen is the operative SGANT-1, or the space-to-ground antenna number 1, that has taken over the lion's share of work. The space-to-ground 2 antenna is in the process of the early stages of its removal and replacement by a spare that currently resides on the on a stowage platform of spare parts on the P3 truss of the complex.
And I'll hand you to
the two spacewalkers are in the process of attempting to install two sets of gimbal locks. These are physical locking pins used to secure the antenna's movable joints during its installation and spacewalk transfer operations, such as we are seeing today.
Yeah, I'm trying to not reposition myself.
That's it. And Sophie, that was a good call to just wait. I don't think this would have been something you could have resolved.
Oh, yeah, there's a big delta. It's not a small alignment issue.
And Anil, we are at the Z1 back-off position. As you know, we're ready for the GCA to the bolt access position on your go.
Yeah, go for the bolt access.
Okay, we are going to be bringing you body in, and we would like you to help keep your clearance from the ESA antenna.
Okay, ready for body in, and I'll keep clearances primary.
Starting motion in 3, 2, 1.
I see motion and good motion, and I've got good clearances. I've got a meter from the T-handle, the hand extended. Good clearances. I'm good. I've got a meter distance. I'm personally moving my body in 8 air, so I've got good clearance. I've got half a meter clearance, good line of sight. We got good clearance.
And I cannot see anymore the SATA antenna, so I cannot check anymore.
We have clearance on the SATA.
Copy.
And I've got good clearance from the S-GANT. Got it. Good foot. And I can move my body even more. I've got good clearance from the boom. Got a foot, I've got a lot of body travel I can put into this to create more space, plenty of room. Got plenty of room.
Yeah.
All right, we're coming up on another handover, but
you
you guys can continue to work this, and we'll take a report on the other side, but you are go to manually manipulate those gimbals to see what you can get. Watch for pinch points.
Oh, great.
I think we can get this, Ann. I've got high confidence.
We see it.
Okay, I'm working on Delta.
And there is much joy in MCC.
Okay, 2 turns on Delta. 2 turns on Delta.
Copy, 2 turns on Delta.
Okay, Anil, we have reached the published position.
And in mid-sentence, we've hit a gap, a short gap, in our tracking and data relay satellite system communications, not related to the space-to-ground antenna work that's ongoing.
Okay, copy, go.
Menon and Adenot working on the installation of these locking pins before the failed space-to-ground antenna can be removed from its boom.
Delta Alpha in this order.
She might be on a handover, so...
I'm here.
Yeah.
I think maybe... Okay.
Okay, so,
hey, guys.
Anil?
Hey, nice job. We copied 2 turns on all bolts. You're going to now retrieve the PGT. They both work. We recommend using Sophie's PGT with a 2-inch rigid.
Copy. So, Anil, because I'm kind of stuck in the movement, I'm going to give it to you.
Yep, I got it covered, Sophie.
So, what I suggest, I align the bolts and the PGT, and you brace and and put the motion in, but I'm going to stabilize this on the bolt.
Okay, I've got your PGT. Is it CALD?
Yes.
Okay.
And just as a reminder, Bravo 1, clockwise 2, I think it's already set. Bravo 1.
Clockwise 2 is set. I can see it.
Yep.
Okay, tell me which bolt.
You start with Charlie, and I'm going to get you towards Charlie.
Okay.
All right, we like it. Bravo 1, clockwise 2. Understand Cal is complete. Bolt Charlie first.
Charlie first.
Okay.
Okay, it's in.
Okay. And then I'm going to...
Turn to motor. Wait, can you hold the PGT? There.
The PGT held.
And I'm going to turn to motor.
Okay. Why don't I stabilize it and you hit the trigger rate? Now do the turn count.
Okay. But you didn't do the CAL, right?
I had heard it was CALD. We did not CAL it.
No.
We need to CAL it.
No, okay,
So when you turn it on,
right
make sure
now.
the collar goes to Cal first.
Yes.
And the ratchet is in clockwise or counterclockwise, and press the trigger for the Cal.
Yeah, it worked.
Copy.
We'll CAL it and give it to you, Sophie.
Copy.
Okay. Good CAL, 41 volts.
Copy.
Copy. Verify settings. Bravo 1, clockwise 2.
It worked.
Bravo 1, clockwise 2 is
Bravo 1, clockwise 2.
Okay, and a reminder, make sure your ratchet's back in the motor.
Ratchet is in motor, confirmed.
Okay, you are go to drive Bolt Charlie.
Okay, Anil, can you, do you have access to this PGT? For me, it's, I'm not in good position right now. I'm going to turn like this.
That's the PGT.
We have the LED test right now, so clockwise 2, sorry.
The collar is out of Cal.
Yeah, we are now in clockwise 2, Bravo 1, clockwise 2 confirmed. Okay, I'm pressing. Can you activate the trigger?
I sure can. Are you going to do the count?
Reminder that turns are very important, so if one of you can give us the count at the bolt.
Okay, that's it, Sophie.
There was 4 more turns, and we have a low torque. Actual torque is 1, and there's fault and torque red LEDs that are on right now.
Copy, checking. And you can go ahead and try with the same setting. Make sure that there's no side loads. The 2-inch is not as forgivable as the 6-inch, so make sure there's no side loading at the bolt. You can also kind of wiggle the gimbal lock, and then you can hit it again with a Bravo 1, clockwise 2.
Okay.
Hold it right there. I've got a good grip. Okay, what's it say?
System by 1, repositioning. The torque again, fault. There was initially I had 2 hand turns, and then we turned 4 turns, but 6 total, and low torque.
We copy low torque, and we copy that you did get no additional turns on that second one.
And if you want me to really get a hold of it and try a third time, I'll need a little bit of GCA. I can do it.
Yeah, we do think you guys can decide if it's GCA or if Sophie needs to reposition. We do think that that the PGT needs to be braced a little bit harder, so maybe clocking it down so that the PGT handle is directed nadir more towards Sophie or in a place where you can have 2 hands on it with your BRT, If you don't think that's going to work, then we'll look at GCA.
Okay, Sophie, you can help stabilize it, but it's just barely out of my reach to give it like really strong hold.
Okay. So then I need to reposition. Oh, and it's going to take a while.
Would it be easier for me to just GCA in? What do you think?
Yeah, it's up to you. Do you think moving the handle to point down towards Sophie would do anything?
Okay, just evaluate this.
Okay, let me try.
Right there. Get you set up.
No, it's
where your hand is, Sophie,
again.
should help. Like, it should kick to the handle should kick to the right. So the side that you have your hand on, if you could get a strong hand there and manage that kick, that might help.
I can help stabilize it.
Yeah, it's also low torque. So no more turns. I tried it 3 times. Could it be a cal problem? But do you want us to recal just in case something went wrong?
We do not think it's a cal problem. Stand by 1.
Okay.
And Sophie, just to be clear, we got the full 2 hand starts and then 4 additional turns with low torque. Have you gotten any additional turns or any good torque indicator?
Yeah, okay, so right now we have green torque light, and actual torque is 12, and it was I pressed 4 times the trigger, and now that was a total of 1 more turn, so that would add up to 5 with the PGT plus 2 hand turns, 7 total, and 12 actual torque.
It subjectively looked good to me, and
we're double checking that. We think that's a good bolt, but stand by 1. Your next one after this is going to be Bravo if you want to start thinking through that. And with that, we have a good
Bravo,
bolt on Charlie.
I can do.
We're calling Charlie good bolt. You're going to Bravo, which is starboard aft.
I can do this one.
Okay,
Sophie.
I'll let you work on that one.
Okay, you count, okay?
Yeah.
Ready, starting it in 3, 2, 1.
That's 4.
Does it say?
And I can see it's a good green light, 12 front, 3 actual torque. And that was 4 turns.
Copy 4 turns, green light. We're checking.
Copy.
And while they're checking, I definitely can't get D. So you want to assess D with this?
In work.
All right, we're going to call that a good bolt. Yes, I heard you guys talking about Delta. You are go to drive Delta, Bravo 1 clockwise 2.
Hey, you got it?
Put it more down.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Now it's good. I have it. Okay.
I can help you stabilize it right there.
Okay, ready? I'm starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
I saw 5.
4.5.
Okay. 4.5 probably.
4.5. With green light, 12 front, 1 torque.
Copy, 4.5 turns, green light on bolt Delta.
Yeah, and from what we observed, it's fully seated inside the location.
That's what I can do if you want me to do
Okay,
it.
please do it, and I'm going to hold it.
Okay. All right, you count. Tell me when you're ready.
I am ready.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, driving.
And 3/4 on this one, and I see good green line, 12.1 torque.
Okay, 4 3/4, 12.1 torque, green light, and we'll hold there for a second. Just a reminder between bolts, do me a favor and wait for a go. We've got to do math down here.
Copy. So let's, Anil, for us, while they are doing their math, let's stow the PGT and see what we can do for the rets on this one.
I also see a loose ret coming right in front of you. Is that intentional?
That's intentional because I didn't want to have some side loading.
Okay.
I have 2 loose rets.
Okay.
Okay, and for the crew, you can go ahead and move to gimbal lock number 2. Reminder to pull that around to the port side for the AET routing.
Yes.
And you can get that one, you can manually start all 8 bolts in any order, manually start 2 turns on gimbal lock 2 while we work to confirm the config of gimbal lock 1.
So, Anil, copy, Anne, good copy. Anil, can I, before doing that, please, can you release this AET and unlock it? It's going to go back to the bag. That's right, sorry, the ret. The ret number 22 that you see right here.
This one that I'm shaking. Okay.
Yeah, this one, because this one is one from the bag, and I am actively reretted to the other side of the AT, so we are good.
Okay, this red's off. It's coming towards you, okay?
Copy.
You want to guide it so it doesn't get snagged?
I'm going to release my BRT, reposition to the forward side.
Okay. What would you like me to do with this ret here?
Let me get in position, and then I will like you to turn it back to the bag. It should be going directly to the bag. It belongs to the bag.
Okay. Good job on those bolts.
What?
Good job on those bolts.
It didn't start well, but yeah.
If I could speak French, I'd say straight in.
All right. So let us observe what the bag is. Can you? Okay.
It's on your camera.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay. I can actually fix this. There we go. There we go.
That's good. Do you unlock it so that it retracts?
Unlocked. You want me to let go?
Let go to the bag.
All right, it's in the bag.
It's in the bag. Hold on. All right, now I'm going to go around.
And there is a gimbal lock right above your head. You wait 1 second.
Yeah, I am waiting 1 second.
I will move over. I've got control.
You got control. My hands are on the agate handles.
All right, nice work on that, you guys. Much rejoicing after the move of the gimbals and getting that lock number 1 on. We see you working number 2. And again, just a hand start on each one of those bolts in any order.
Copy. I'm working on my BRT for now on the forward one.
This is Mission Control Houston.
And just do me a favor.
1 hour, 42 minutes into today's spacewalk.
That'll help us.
As you watch the work of Anil Menon and Sophie Adenot outside of the International Space Station, Menon, his feet planted at the end of the station's robotic arm, wearing the suit bearing the red stripes. Adenot is in the unmarked suit. They have completed the installation of the first quartet of gimbal lock bolts. These are physical locking pins to make sure that the space-to-ground antenna, the failed antenna, does not inadvertently rotate out of their maneuverability capability during the transfer to a temporary parking place and then to a stowage platform on the P3 truss of the International Space Station. The same will be the case for the replacement space-to-ground antenna that is currently housed on ESP3, the stowage platform on the P3 truss, that is replacing this failed antenna at the center of the station's truss structure. The crew is continuing to work just about on the timeline. The first order of business, of course, the removal of a heat shield at the base of the boom upon which the failed space-to-ground antenna resides. Now the installation of these locking pins to restrain any movement by the space-to-ground antenna dish during its transfer to its stowage location. This will be followed by the removal of the antenna itself and Anil Menon carrying the antenna at the end of the robotic arm to to the external stowage platform number 3 on the port side of the International Space Station. The station and its crew members are currently traveling 260 miles above the Earth, moving from northwest to southeast, about to move directly over the Cabo Verde Islands.
So that's 2.5 turn on Gulf.
2.5 turns on Bolt Gulf.
2 turns on this one, Sophie. Which one's this?
Foxtrot. Let's go. Anil Menon, Echo and Hotel. Let's go to the top one. Yes, affirm. It works.
She's directing me. We haven't put the turns in yet.
Yep, and Anil, I see you on Echo. And Sophie, I see you on Hotel.
Yeah. 3 turns on the Hotel.
3 turns on this one.
Yeah.
Okay, understand. 3 turns on each. Please stop at 2 turns on the hand start bolts. But we got 3 turns on Echo, 3 turns on Hotel.
And now you work on Kilo, Anil, and I work on the mic. Yes.
Yep, and we can see Mike and we can see Kilo.
Okay, that's 2 turns and a half on Mike.
2 turns on Mike.
No, 2.5.
2 turns on this one.
Kilo.
2 turns on Kilo, 2.5 on Mike.
Yes, now working on Juliet and Lima. 2 turns and a half on Lima.
2.5 turns on Lima, and a reminder, we want about 2 turns. And go ahead, Anil.
2 turns on this last. Juliet. Thank you. Glad you got them memorized. I can't see them.
I can see them.
And Fox, did we get Foxtrot? That's the one that's closer to Anil. And that one was tracking 2 turns. We can go for the PGT.
Yes. Let's go with yours, Anil.
Hey, get my PGT now. It's already cowed.
Okay,
It has 41 volts.
We think Sophie's PGT with a 2-inch rigid might be easier. You're welcome to use either. The first bolt is Bolt Foxtrot.
Okay.
That is the one that is, yep, Sophie can see it right there. It's closest to you, Anil. It's one of the bolts that goes to the SGAT, so it's the lower one on your right.
Okay, I'm going to guide Anil on the bolts. I have good view, and I'm aligning these.
It might be right about yours being easier just because.
The 2 spacewalkers are working in tandem to complete the installation of these gimbal lock bolts. These are physical locking pins used to secure the antenna's movable joints during its transport. In this case, it's transferred to a stowage location once it is removed from the boom. This is the failed space-to-ground antenna that the 2 spacewalkers are working on at the moment. We are 1 hour, 47 minutes into the spacewalk. Everything is proceeding on schedule.
And we got
Bravo
clockwise 2.
Yeah, Bravo 1, clockwise 2. We are happy with that. Bolt Foxtrot.
Okay, Okay, I'm on Foxtrot, right, Sophie?
Yes, you're on Foxtrot. Let's go.
1, 2, 3, you count turns, okay?
Yes. We're in a house, and I see that Bolt is fully inside fully seated inside.
And I got low torque, 10.8.
Low torque, 10.8. Okay, let's hit that bolt one more time. Just a reminder, try to be in a real good bracing position, no side loads. If you need to wiggle the gimbal lock at all, this first bolt might have a tendency to side load more. And bolt Foxtrot.
All right, I hit it again, and I got good torque, green light. Only turned maybe an eighth of a, I don't know, it could have been 0, but it's at 11.9. A really small turn, basically, almost nothing.
Okay, we will move to bolt Gulf. Bolt Gulf, that's the one closer to Sophie on the other side, while we let MER determine what 4.5 plus an eighth is.
All right, I could do this one too, Sophie, if you want.
Okay.
Okay, you ready to count?
The space-to-ground antenna that the crew is currently working to install these locking pins on, this is the one that exhibited restricted motion beginning last November and a degraded performance in its inability to auto-track or gimbal, if you will, swivel to point itself toward the tracking and data relay satellite system satellites that orbit the Earth in geosynchronous orbit in a constellation as the hub of NASA's communications system.
5 turns. Your next bolt will be bolt Echo. Echo.
This particular antenna was launched and installed during the STS-132 mission back in 2010. So after 16 years of yeoman's work, it is being removed and is being replaced by a spare that has been housed out on a stowage platform on the port side of the truss of the International Space Station since 2009.
Right, green light, 12.1.
Copy, and say again, turn count for bolt Echo.
5.5. And it's fully seated from what we observed.
Copy, 5.5. And you are going to move on to bolt Hotel.
The symmetrical part closer to me.
Okay, is it this one?
A-firm.
It's A-firm, and I'm ready to start counting.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, starting.
Five and 3/4.
Green light, 12.2.
5 3/4, 12.2 green light. Copy for bolt Hotel. Can move on to bolt Kilo.
Kilo is the one closest to you, down. Yep. That's it. And I'm ready to count.
Hey, 3, 2, 1, turning.
Four and 3/4.
Green light, 11.8.
Copy, 4 3/4, 11.8 green light for Kilo. Next will be Mike, but stand by one while we check that.
Mike. Okay.
I can't see that, but if you can
Okay,
put this
and
on.
we'll keep going
Yeah,
to
I'll.
bolt Mike over by
Is
Sophie.
this?
Nope.
Is it this one, sir?
No, it's this one. Okay, let me just extending my body position.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, you're in. Let's go.
Okay, ready? I'm going to try not to side load this. 1, 2, 3,
Yep.
starting.
4 3/4.
Woohoo! Green light. 12.1.
Well done. All right, next one is the top
4
one closest to you.
12.1 for Bolt Mike. You can move on to Bolt Juliet, which is over by Anil.
Yeah, no, not this one. Yeah, the one closest to you, that's one.
Okay. Ready, Sophie?
Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Four point eight turns.
Low torque, 9.5, but I just like my hand slipped a little bit. If you're okay, I'll hit it again.
Yeah, and I see it's fully seated.
Yes, we agree with the plan to hit it again, please.
Okay, ready, Sophie?
I am.
All right, we got good torque, green light, 12.2, no turns.
We copy no additional turns with a green light. You can go on to Bolt Lima, final bolt.
The one I'm pointing with my finger here.
Only I could see your finger.
Okay, I'm getting.
Okay.
Okay, you're in. Ready?
All right. Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
It's 5 turns.
Light, 11.4.
Copy, 5 turns and 11.4 green light. Nicely done. Folks are going to discuss that down here for a little bit, but at this time,
It's 11.9. I might have said 4. My old age.
What we observe from here is that all bolts are fully fitted into the golden part.
okay.
They look all the same.
So Sophie, at this time, first you guys can stow the PGT, and then we're going to, I have a task for each of you. Anil, we'd like you to do a wiggle test and take a look at the gimbals, and you kind of got to move it before. Let us know if it moves at all. Sophie, once you stow your PGT, you can remove the AET from the gimbal locks, and you'll be stowing that on the starboard aft agate handrail.
Copy.
And that gimbal is rock solid.
That's a great report. There was much joy.
Approaching the 2-hour mark in today's spacewalk, Anil Menon, you see him, his feet planted in a portable foot restraint at the end of the Canadarm2 robotic arm, declaring success as he and Sophie Adenot have driven a total of 12 bolts, these gimbal lock bolts, these locking pins in place to secure the failed space-to-ground antenna from any inadvertent motion after it is removed from its boom on the Z1 truss and transported to a stowage location.
Copy that.
Oh, no, first is the AET.
The AET.
Yeah. And what?
And these can be done in any order from here. So if Anil, you want to start NZGLs while Sophie works the AET and the MUT, that's fine. Just let me know what words you'd like.
I think that's a great idea. Why don't I start on the forward NVGL?
Okay, great. NZGL does not matter. In order doesn't matter. Just a reminder to avoid pulling and tugging on the SCANT cables, that you might want to wiggle the back shell a little bit to remove side loads. So you can remove the cap from the dummy connector. Let me know if you're at J6 or J1.
I'm at I'm working on J1. I think the cap is technically J6, right?
Yeah, correction, sorry. J6 or J7 are the two good dummy connectors. So understand you're working J6.
That's correct. I've got a ret to it, and I want to take it out now.
Sounds good. And once you have that dummy connector removed, then you can demate the SCANT forward cable from the boom. That's a P4 from the J1.
Okay. I've demated the dummy connector, and I'm working on the forward cable. crossed over center now, and it's off. The O-ring, there's a pink O-ring in the plug that looks to be wedged in by friction. I'm trying to get a heck of view on it. Otherwise,
okay, I understand you're looking at the dummy connector O-ring?
No, the dummy connector's off. The dummy connector O-ring is pink, and it's seated very deeply inside. When I look at I just took off J1. When I look at the receptacle for J1, the plug seems fine. If you look at the plug here in the HECA, that there is a pink ring that looks like the same O-ring that should be deep in there, but it's come up. So it's half in, half out. It's friction fit in there now. Can you see it in the HECA? I feel like I could probably push it in with the right tool, or I could ret to it and take it out.
Okay, we are discussing. We don't have a great view on it.
Can you see it? Okay, I can get you a good view. Let's see. Okay. If you can give me a progressive taxi to the A1.
Yeah, J1 is just on the left side of your helmet cam right now. So if you look to your right or twist to your left a little bit. Yep. And now it's behind the cable. If you can move that cable out of the way, we'll be able to see it.
Yeah, you just want to know if that O-ring is.
Can I help, or am I good to go retrieve the metal segment?
Hey, go retrieve the metal segment. This is
okay.
Analysis thing.
And I know we can't quite see it because of the shadowing. Can you confirm, is the whole thing offset but symmetrical, or is it angled inside of that connector?
It's angled inside. Gosh, I wish I could get you a good view. It's like my helmet's right there. All right, I will just describe it. Oh, I'll be quiet. Let me know if you need more words.
We like that. Thank you. We like your voice too, but we appreciate the time to think. Okay, you are going to put the cap on there. We are okay with that angle. So once you've looked at the cable and verified no FOD, good pins, and a good EMI band, then you can mate that cable to the dummy receptacle and the cap on the J1. We probably won't be so forgiving of the new one.
And I think there may have been a miscommunication. The J1 receptacle side, doesn't it stay on the boom? So,
okay, and say that one more time.
Like when we bring in the new one's going to attach its NGL to this back.
Okay, you're talking so the J1, so the O-ring is in the J1 connector that's on the boom, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, appreciate that clarification, and yes, we'll be using that one again later. So copy that you've got the NZGL cable to the dummy receptacle, and now you can put the cap on the J1 boom connector.
Okay, I'm going to put the cap on, but the pink does stick out 50%. Like that O-ring sticks out 50% from there, so I can try to flatten it in by putting on the dummy connector, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we're checking. Yeah, if you want to try that, we're good with that.
This is Mission Control Houston, 2 hours, 3 minutes into today's spacewalk by Anil Menon and Sophie Adenot, the 282nd spacewalk in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. The crew well into the work to remove a failed space-to-ground antenna from its location at the middle of the backbone or the truss of the International Space Station on the Z1 truss. They have installed a series of locking pins, or gimbal locks as they are called. The next order of business will be the actual releasing of 4 bolts holding the failed space-to-ground antenna in place on a boom on the Z1 truss.
And we came back from a handover, so Neil, if you had any other words that we may have missed them on the J1.
I said I don't know if you caught it, but if we put in the plug, it's gonna be hard to get the. Sorry, I went to go get something, and sorry, if we put in the plug, it's gonna be hard to get that pink rubber O-ring out again. But if the decision is to take it out now, it's partially out, and I think I could get it out. So I'm just verifying that you want the plug in and attempting to flatten it in there.
Okay, we understand. We're talking it.
Okay, Anil, I think we can work together on this install.
Okay, I think I need to hand this to you so I can secure my AGFR position.
Yep.
Reach got me out of place a little bit.
Anil Menon is referring to the demating of the acronym is NZGLs. These are NASA zero-G lever locks. The lever-actuated electrical and data connectors that have provided the electrical and telemetry capability for the failed space-to-ground antenna.
Side loading of this thread from the bag.
Okay, you want me to put the scoop on?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm releasing the side loading with my hands on the red. Almost there. Yes.
Okay.
You're in.
Son, do you want me to lock it?
Yes, please.
Space station currently flying 260 miles just south of South Africa.
And I see it locked.
Is it locked? Is it set itself in?
It is locked.
Okay.
Yep.
And so, just
yep, we recommend keeping the ball stack loose.
So I can. Yes. So the ball stack is loose. The first jaws on the scoop are locked. The ECOM 1 and 2 are locked, black and black, and the second nut is jaws open and unlocked. So for me, it's good config. I can release the red from the bag. Do you concur?
Yep, we concur that that's a good config, and you can release that red. If you want to put the O-ring on that red, Anil, you can. Otherwise, we'll remove it and put it in a trash bag.
Oh, yeah. Put it on that rat, Sophie, so give me that rat.
Yeah.
I can try to get it if... Got it? Okay.
Just a sec. My orientation. Yeah. Second hand.
And hey, for the crew real quick, if you could just hang on to that O-ring, we may be using it again. So just keep it in an accessible position, please. You can just put on a ret back to a workstation if that works.
I should keep it on my person then. Okay.
Okay, we like that plan. Good config. Nice work on the scoop and mutt ball stack. That looked pretty simple in the scheme of things. And we'll be going for the second connector. And
okay, confirm I released the red from the bag. So we don't need it from the O-ring.
You release the red, Sophie. I'm going to put the O-ring on this AET right here and keep it behind my workstation.
Copy.
Okay, we like that config. The things that we have left are the other NZGL, and then we'll be releasing torque using the ratchet wrench. So if you guys want to work the last NZGL, then we'll get in position.
Okay, let me work on the NZGL. I'll work on this cap, and you do your thing with the O-ring.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll be removing the cap from the...
Again, the acronym NZGL refers to a series of electrical and data connectors that have held the space-to-ground antenna in place on the boom and relayed both power and telemetry capability during its functional days. This antenna began to display a degraded capability last November in its ability to auto-track the tracking and data relay satellite system satellites, the constellation of satellites that orbit the Earth in geosynchronous orbit about 22,300 miles above the Earth. The situation with this particular antenna continued to worsen, causing flight controllers to transfer the prime load of communications capability from the station, the high data rate transmission capability, to the other S-GANT 1, that is located alongside of the failed antenna on the Z1 truss of the International Space Station.
Yeah, okay, it doesn't work. Now with the two of us.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
And we're sure we got it up, yeah.
Yeah, lever aft over center. So
okay.
You're good.
Okay, I've got good leverage here.
Yep, and me here.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Steady pressure.
Okay.
I think this is a RET scenario.
It is a RET scenario.
All right, and you can wiggle the back shell, making sure there's no side loadings on there. And then reminder, if the sun comes up, you can keep it shaded, might help too.
Oh.
Okay. Now let me go in front of it.
Okay.
And put some shadow. It is. Okay, if I try like this?
And I'll wiggle the back shell. Just give you some.
Yep. And we're seeing you working it, and you see that
we're making a little shift.
And this is a situation where you could use an AET as well if you need a little more pulse.
I think we, why don't you put the large trick on the backside and see if you can...
Try?
Yeah, see if you can push out.
So, would you take the large trick on my...
Yeah, you can use that large hook, and I'll do it.
Okay. It is?
Okay. Got it. I have it.
You got it?
And then we'll go like this.
Yeah, and still some shadow. Okay. Maybe we can also put an AET around.
Pull.
And pull.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so our ideas down
Try
here is
one
you
more
could put
time.
an AET down.
Yeah, and I'm going to help you push like this. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Stand by 1.
Okay.
Stop doing that. Yep. Just want to be sure I'm not doing something stupid with my gloves. We're good. Gloves nominal. I see it moved from 1 millimeter on this side.
Okay.
Did you see it move as well on your side?
Not significantly, no.
Oh, okay. So?
Like, the blue line doesn't match perfectly, so I think
no, that's normal. The blue line never matches when it's mated.
Okay.
As you guys are working this, our thoughts down here is there's some keying in there that it could be caught on. So a couple options are to tap it with the hook, just kind of dislodge that. You can also use an AET to wrap around and pull it.
Do you think the night time would make it easier?
Well, if we haven't gotten in 2 minutes, we will find out.
Okay. Okay. So I don't have a red. Yeah, I do have this red. Okay. I'm going to use the AET from my mini workstation.
Yeah, we do think the AET is going to be maybe a good option to try, wrap around and pull it.
Copy. No, I think it's going to be faster to use the AET from here.
And one note, Sophie, when you're pushing, there's kind of two parts in that shell, and if you're right against the kind of the bottom of where the connector, that's the jack that kind of stays there. So make sure you go up a little bit to push on the actual connector.
Okay. So I do have one red to AET that was on the agate handle.
Okay, yeah, we can use that one and wrap it around. Just make sure you're not right at the base. You want to go up from the base so that you're on the actual connector.
This is Mission Control Houston. Once again, the conversation between spacecraft communicator Ann McClain and Sophie Adenot, as well as Anil Menon, referring to the current tasks of demating a series of electrical connectors that have held the space-to-ground antenna in place on its boom on the Z1 truss of the International Space Station. This in preparation for the unbolting of a series of 4 bolts holding the antenna on the boom. That will be the final task in removing the failed space-to-ground antenna.
All right, Houston, do you see Anil's HECA?
We do see the HECA. We see a green light, but we don't see his video right now.
Got a little bit of play in it.
No, I mean, look in my HECA, the HECA view. I'm going to show Anil's helmet. And
okay,
there's some play here.
We see the play.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that if you want to keep working the connector.
And it's kind of significantly going to the right.
They're going to look into it. Let's tackle this, and then Ann, please give me a reminder to put the plug back into the J1 place. I have not done that yet. It's on my person.
Copy. We will remind you of that.
All right, let's see if we can tackle this one.
Yeah, I'm just removing the AET from the agate handle, but I don't know why it's stuck right now.
All right, while you do that, I'll put this plug in. All right, the plug's in.
And you guys had mentioned it, but we want to make sure that handle is fully thrown aft, and that you didn't sense any damage or weird sensation when you moved that. Is that correct?
Oh, I did not. Aft. Is there any utility to moving it forward again and then aft? But aft, it's full aft over center.
Yeah, you can try that if you want to verify.